And thank you, good people, for hanging on to this episode of the Real Leaders Podcast with Maurice Clarett. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Now it's time to open it up for a few questions for you all listening out there. And Maurice, we had a few fly in during that episode. And the first one comes from Kevin. And Kevin asks, Maurice, you could be bitter as your path to chase your dreams was interrupted. They were the rules of those days, but not today with the new NIL. We all know there is a young Maurice out there where these new and deserved benefits changed everything. So what would your message be to that person that may get these benefits earlier?
Who may get these benefits earlier? Ooh, good question. Because it's not simple and it's not easy. One, I'm all for the young guys getting benefits and getting compensated for their talent. That's one. The second part is that as you get finances, you need to have, and I hope the institutions do this. I'm talking about either the teams that these guys play for or the NCAA in general. And these guys need some level of financial education.
Right.
I don't know if it's a biblical statement. I don't know if I've just heard it a lot, but they say a fool and his money shall part. And knowing where I was at 18 and 19 and 20 years old, I just don't think that a lot of these guys are equipped yet, just like with anybody who was 18 or 19 years old. And if they were going to run into 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000, $100,000, whatever it may be, these guys just may not be equipped to go ahead and be responsible with their finances. But if these guys get the right education and understand that, hey, I can park this money into a rental property, I can park this money into some sort of investment account, I can, park the earnings that I get here over the next 4 years and just get what the market takes or get what the market kicks off over the next 4 years. Then after I'm done with playing sports, I'll have me something to start my life out with if the NFL doesn't work out. To be honest with you, I wish I was more involved in the process. I think that I can share my story with a lot of these young guys, and I can also talk through how these guys can control and own their own brands. I see like there's companies who are coming out and said, hey, we'll come out and produce all your merchandise and everything like that. But that's like stepping out of the frying pan and into the fire with a lot of these guys, right? And you go from, being controlled by the NCAA to being controlled by some institution of some sort, right?
Right.
And the ultimate thing, I think that the ultimate thing with all this stuff with that name, image, and likeness, no matter what it is. And so let's say this first. One, you can't control what somebody does with their money. There's people who don't play sports and people who live life every day who are irresponsible with their finances, right? Let's get that first, right? Let's get that straight. The second part is that you just wish that guys just own themselves, right? Just make sure you own yourself, you own your talent. It's easy to produce shirts. It's easy to produce products. It's easy to produce towels. It's easy to produce these things that you can sell for yourself without basically giving up what you would earn to somebody else who's doing something that doesn't take a whole lot of everything, right?
Yep.
They can, but you know what I'm saying? I guess that's the only thing I want to say in regards to all of the name, image, and likeness stuff.
I love it. Please, please, please just teach financial education. Don't work for money. Have money work for you. Next question comes from Julie, and Julie asks, thank you for your honesty and raw transparency with the stages in your life. You're a refreshing inspiration. Question for the next generation listening. What advice would you give to them when they come to a critical crossroad?
That's a vague question, but it always lands in this. Most of those crossroads, or most things happen, or I don't want to say most things happen. Some things happen when people they get confused when they don't know who they are, and low self-esteem usually kicks in from people not knowing who they are or having anxiety from a bunch of thoughts that they don't want to. And I would want to rate what you're doing from who you are. Understand and get to know who you are. That comes from getting up in the morning, sitting down, writing down goals, writing down or giving consistent effort to the gym, giving consistent effort to applying the plans to actually be clear or definitive on what it is that you're trying to accomplish. And just through the process of having direction, a lot of the anxiety, a lot of these crossroads that people talk about, a lot of crossroads are self-inflicted. I'll tell you like that. If you look at my life, and you look back on whatever it is that I've done, I could have probably avoided a lot of that had I had better control or better governance over my life. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of it, like I say, a lot of it just comes down with being clear with who you are, spending time with yourself in the morning. I would guarantee you that if anybody, like if you went to a person and asked them, like, what is it that you want to accomplish or who is it that you want to become? And you just ask the average person, even the people who's listening to this podcast, you just ask them, they don't know. They don't know anything about the money that they want to have. They don't know anything about where they want to be. They have no clue of basically what they want to accomplish, what they want to attain. They have no clue, but they get up every day and they live life. And the reason that you see so many people who have anxiety issues or mental health issues, a lot of that stuff comes from just not knowing what it is you want to do, how you're going to get from A to B, and just having some sort of direction. And I don't say this vaguely. I say this because I go and speak at universities. I speak to football players. I speak to high school students. I speak to junior high students. Yeah, so I'm actually out here listening to people hands on. And if somebody comes to you to say like, okay, so what are you trying to get accomplished? So I'm like, man, I want to live better. Like, okay, so what are you really trying to do? You know what I'm saying? And then once you start unraveling and you say, why is that? Why is that? Why is that? Everything becomes self-revealing. You know what I mean? Like you can almost take like this Socratic approach to people to where they start to reveal to themselves that they don't have direction. And so like these are things like getting back to America. Like you remember like when people had goals and they told you like when you were first grade, second grade, third grade, develop a goal, stick to a plan. Like at some point we've graduated through life and we just have given up on goals. And then after goals are, well, no, I mean, I'm serious. Like people, they get weak. So something becomes hard. You get weak, you give up and you say, well, Kevin didn't give me a shot, or it was Kevin's fault that he took my opportunity, or it's Kevin's fault, right? This is the society we become. And instead of like digging down deep in your soul, digging down deep in your body, digging down deep and fighting through stuff and developing character, developing fortitude, developing everything, we don't want to do that, right? And so I found this out that sometimes the adversity that you're going through, that adversity that you're going through is helping you to build like a reservoir of fortitude for your ultimate goal. But we sometimes don't connect the pain to our ultimate thing. So we just avoid the ultimate thing. And then we just keep on going to different platforms to pursue, but we've still not developed the strength, right? It's like this. It's like a kid who goes to a college, right? And he goes and he's playing, and or he was a superstar in his hometown. That's what happens, right?
Yeah.
And then he goes to Ohio State or Alabama, and then he starts to go, and he's around guys who are more committed, guys who are kicking ass, and guys who makes him question himself, right? And so the school isn't bad, the coach isn't bad, your weight room habits, how you spend your free time, the attitude that you need to have, all of those things, if you lean into them, if you lift more weights, if you study more film, and if you perform when you do have an opportunity, those things will ultimately get you to your destination. But we never want to fight through anything anymore. It's so easy to run. It's so easy to avoid. And so you get to these situations that people are in crossroads. If you hear me talk, I don't have crossroads. I just have some shit I need to get over. Right. I have some stuff I need to be patient through. I have some stuff that I need to work on. I have some homework that I need to do. Like I'm sitting in my office right now. It's 80, 90 degrees outside. Do I want to be outside? Yes. But I sat here for 4 or 5 hours for the last 3 or 4 days making plans for the end of this year and for the beginning of next year. Do people want to do that? No. Do people want to talk about what they don't have? Yes. You feel where I'm coming from?
Absolutely.
And so at the end of the day, everything comes back to the person.
Right. Whatever gets in the way becomes the way, for Maurice Clarett. I love it. It's a powerful mindset that you have, Maurice, and we appreciate you taking an hour out of your day to come on this show. I'm sure you have a few more bits and pieces of knowledge in your repertoire. Where can people find more information about you?
I just follow Twitter, Instagram. Very easy to find. You'll usually see me having fun. Like I have fun. I joke a lot. And I don't know. I'm enjoying life, man. If anything that they picked up from this, man, whatever, like you say, whatever's in the way is the way. I'll tell you that. But I probably have more fun than anybody with life. I just enjoy life. I enjoy simplicity. I enjoy walks through the neighborhood. I enjoy looking at the architecture of my neighborhood. I enjoy looking at green grass. I just enjoy the simple things of life. Like, even though I love success in business, I really just enjoy life. That's where I'm at with my life.
I can totally tell your body language says it all, Maurice. Appreciate your time coming on the show. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into the Really Is podcast. Again, folks, subscribe on Apple Podcasts. You know what? Leave us a review today. Hit that green button. Let us know how we did. Let us know how we can improve the show. Love always seeing what people think and how we can improve. This episode, folks, will be released in 1 week's time. That's August 12th in the morning. So if you want to subscribe and be notified of its release, or if you had to leave early, please subscribe to the Leaders Podcast and keep it real. Maurice, thank you so much for your time, my friend.
Thanks for having me.